wealth is dropping. Has anybody read, yes or no? Have you read the studies that say black wealth is going to drop to zero by 2053, median black wealth? Now, when they say black wealth will drop to zero, yes or no? Have you seen that study? When they say that black wealth is dropping to zero by 2053, in case you don't know, there's a study, all these studies, it's out there, everybody's talking about it. The black wealth is expected to drop to zero by the year 2053. Well, when they say that, they're not saying that every black person will have zero wealth. They're not saying all black wealth will go to zero. What they're saying is that the median African American, meaning that if you have, 11 people, you put 5 on this side, 5 on that side, the one in the middle is the median, right? The median is the middle person. The median African American is going to have zero wealth. That means that half of the group will be on the negative side and half of the group will be on the positive side. And there will also be extremes. There are going to be people that have extremely negative debt, like negative, negative 10 million net worth. There are going to be people that have extremely positive net worth, like positive 10 million, right? So it's going to be extremes. It's going to be like a bell curve, like a distribution. And so the thing about it is that they talk about this issue as if they don't understand it completely, or they talk about the issue as if there either is no solution or there's only one solution. When they talk about the issue, they point out, very real, very relevant factors. Like they'll say, black unemployment is extraordinarily high. Corporations are not paying workers what they used to pay them, that the real wage of the average American worker has actually dropped, which is true. Job security isn't what it used to be. The cost of living is going up. They'll talk about things like that, but they really, I don't think, dig to the heart of the issue, and they don't really sort of point out sort of what the real issue is. And then for you as an individual, I think it's important for you to understand that your fate as an individual, while it is connected to the fate of the black community, it is not in lockstep with the fate of the black community. So for example, if I tell you that a lot of black males, a lot of young black males are going to prison, that doesn't affect your son. It does mean that your son should be careful, but it does not mean that your son is going to go to prison, right? Do you follow what I'm saying? If I tell you, a lot of young brothers are going to prison now, that doesn't mean that your son's going to prison, right? But as an individual, your next step is to say, wow, a lot of young black males are going to prison. How do I make sure that my son is not one of the young black men going to prison? You follow me, right? So the same thing is true. So if I say that the median black American is going to have zero wealth by the year 2053, according to these projections, your next question should be, how do I make sure that I'm not in that group? How do I make sure that my family is not reflective of that statistic? That's what they call being a statistic, right? Like, how do I make sure that I'm not a statistic with my family, that me and my family, that we're doing okay? In fact, me and my family could be balling, right? Because here's the thing, there are black people out here that are doing very well. And it's not because they're sellouts and coons and Uncle Toms all the time. It's not because somebody handed them a silver spoon. It's not because they just got lucky. A lot of times it's because the vast majority of us as black people, the majority of the masses of black people, and this is true for, I think, a lot of groups, they move like sheep. Whatever everybody else is doing, that's what they do. Everybody, all the other black people are voting for. Remember, think about the Obama presidency. In the beginning of the Obama presidency, they could not get black people to vote for Barack Obama. They just couldn't. They were like, how do we get black people to recognize that this guy might be a viable candidate, or at least better than Hillary Clinton? They couldn't figure it out. Why? Well, because the masses of black people were following other black people, and all the black people were voting for Hillary Clinton. But then what happened was something changed in the tide. It suddenly became trendy to love Barack Obama. So then suddenly all the masses, all went in the same direction, like the electric slide. Anybody ever see the masses of black people that run to the dance floor when the electric slide starts playing? It's like a triggered reaction, like Pavlov's dog in psychology. Pavlov's dog was his dog that was trained to salivate every time they rang a bell because they would make him think he was going to get food, right? So we got that triggered reaction, right? They start playing that song that get funky, do. Y'all know the song, y'all know what I'm talking about? Anybody know that song, right? When they start playing that song, I observe. I'm of the black community, but I'm a little bit outside of it, where I like to watch what black people are doing and how black people are reacting to things. And so because I can't dance, maybe that's what it is. Maybe I'm a hater because I just can't dance. But I would sit there and I would watch how, oh my God, like, look at all these people rushing to the dance floor, like they have to get on the dance floor because this song is on. And it's fascinating to me. It's like, wow. So here's the thing. Here's where I'm getting at. Here's where I'm going with this. The reason black wealth is going to zero is because the masses of the black community are all doing the same thing. The reason black wealth for the median African American will be zero by 2053, and I can't really change that by myself. I need a bigger platform to do that. Somebody gave me $10 million, I could create a bigger platform and go and reach more people. But we work with what we have. But the reason median black wealth will go to zero is because the majority of black people are doing the same thing, and that same activity, that same set of actions is putting them each in debt. Each of them are like little sheep just walking off a cliff, and they feel safety. There's safety in numbers. A lot of people feel safe. And I've studied literally in finance. We actually have theories on this. It's called a herding effect. A herding effect is where you feel safe doing what everybody else is doing because you feel safety in numbers. Everybody could be doing the same dumb shit, but because you want to fit in and you don't want anybody to think you're weird, you just do the same dumb shit as everybody else. Because then if all of you go off the cliff as sheep, do one after the other, then you can say, well, yeah, I did go off the cliff, but look at how many other people went off the cliff. So you feel safer, you feel more secure, you feel better about the fact that there were, 1,000 other people that went off the cliff with you. When the reality is that we need a few people that are going to kind of say, wait a minute, this don't even make no sense. Hold up, like, I'm not doing that shit. In fact, a lot of times the Black folks that end up doing well financially, I notice, are the ones who don't act like other Black people, who don't fit into the Black community. It sounds weird, but a lot of times they'll be like, no, we don't do that in our house. Like my parents were like that. My parents are kind of conservative, I guess, but they're Black, grew up in the hood, lived the Black experience. Get with the family, beat barbecue chicken, like just, the white man is a piece of shit. Like that's that, like we saw all that growing up. I saw my dad talk about white people and how they behave and all that. But their approach was just a little different. They would just sort of be like, I don't really care what so-and-so's mama is doing down the street. You're not gonna go. Or I don't care if your cousins didn't get in trouble for stealing the candy bar. You're going to get your ass whooped, right? Like that was our household, right? It was like, we're going to do what makes sense. And it's going to be independent of what everybody else is doing, because we ain't trying to be trendy. We're trying to be correct. We're not trying to be politically correct. We're trying to just be correct, right? So with that said, that is the psychology behind why Black wealth is going to go to zero for the median African American. And I can't change this by myself. Maybe if you guys help me, share the video, tell everybody, start these conversations, but I can't change it by myself. But I'm literally watching people just walk over a cliff one by one by one. So this platform, again, as I tell you guys, is for intelligent Black people who think for themselves, who are looking for solutions, who can at least agree with me that the current methods are not working. So if you agree with me that the current methods are not working, then that at least means that whatever you try to do, you're going to do something different. Whatever you try to do, you're not going to do the same shit everybody else is doing, right? Whatever you try to do, you're not going to be a sheep, right? I don't care if you still go off the cliff. You might still go off the cliff too, but at least you went off the cliff by going west when everybody else went off the cliff by going east. We know east is going to get you off the cliff. So you tried west, it didn't work out, but I'm still proud of you because at least you were thinking for yourself, right? So